All right, welcome everyone. My name is Christy Apsimer. I am the Director of Systems for Great Start to Quality at the Early Childhood Investment Corporation. You are joining the GSQ Quality Connection this afternoon. We're grateful to have you here, and we have some really fantastic guest partners that are going to share some information with you. So we'll go ahead and get started. I just wanted to sort of level set. This is a bi-monthly webinar that folks from GSQ offer to you all. You might be a newly licensed program. Perhaps you've been doing this for a really long time and we're grateful that you're here. And this is our time to talk about all kinds of things related to Great Start to Quality, including indicators and the process, marketing opportunities, etc. So glad that you could spend some time with us. Just some tech etiquette pieces before we get going. Certainly keep yourself muted unless you would like to share, what you're absolutely welcome to do. If you have a question or thought, please feel free to pop it in the chat. We'll keep tabs on that and happy to answer your questions as we go. We will have a Q&A at the end that's specific to Great Start to Quality, and certainly time for you to ask questions about our special presentation today. So really casual, feel free to interject. Happy to answer any questions you might have. So we typically follow the same agenda, so just wanted to share that with you all. We spend time welcoming you and our presenters, doing some introductions, and then we typically have a pretty robust presentation, which we do today. If there is time, we'll share some updates and tips related to Great Start to Quality, and then, like I mentioned, have the Q&A at the end. Just as a level set, we're talking about the new quality improvement process for Great Start to Quality. And so those of you who are newly licensed, you're starting out at maintaining health and safety. And then the improvement process really starts with reflecting on quality as it relates to the indicators. And so that's a little bit about what we're going to focus on today as one of those specific indicators related to sustainability plans. So some of you have said, well, what does that mean? I don't know where to get resources. And so we're going to give you some tips and tricks today. For those of you that haven't been able to take a look at the indicators, I wanted to share with you the indicator that we're specifically talking about. So this is AM4. You know that we use that letter number code for our indicators. And this is really about having a business sustainability plan. And so as a childcare business owner, operator, provider, you have a plan in place to continue to move forward with your business. How are you going to make ends meet, make sure that you have families coming in the door and enrollments coming in, those kinds of things. And so that's what we're specifically going to talk about today. And so I do want to turn it over to our partners at First Children's Finance, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and I'm going to stop sharing so they can drive their own PowerPoint because they have lots of good information to share. Take it away.
Thank you, Christy. Just give me 1 second to get our presentation going. Okay, can everybody see the slides okay?
Yeah, we can see the presentation view and the notes. So
oh, okay. So that's a
slideshow.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
That's
folks.
okay.
Give me just a second. Let's see, stop share. Let's do, oops. Had it all prepared and then.
It looks like maybe
Share. And I just have to start it over. Sorry, folks.
No problem at all. There you go.
Okay, are we good now?
Yep.
Excellent. Okay. So thank you guys for having us. We're very excited to talk about the work that we do and some of the supports that we can provide to providers such as yourselves surrounding business sustainability. So to get us started, I just wanted to do some quick intros. My name is Jessica Appelter. I am the Business Development Manager for Michigan with First Children's Finance. I have personally been with the organization for just a little under 3 years, and my role includes the oversight of our team of amazing specialists who you will get to work with throughout all of these trainings and cohorts and offerings that we have if you choose to work with us. I personally have around 24 years of experience working in the field of early childhood education with a strong corporate background. So I've had the unique opportunity to manage several different large childcare centers throughout Metro Detroit, Oakland County, and Lansing areas. And I've worked my way up through the industry ranks. I started as an assistant teacher, worked up to a teacher, a business manager, center director, and finally a regional manager where I oversaw a maximum of 8 childcare centers at one time. I have about 10 years of direct experience supporting programs in need and working to build them up to a higher level of sustainability. So I have experienced almost every aspect of this industry firsthand. And because of that, this work is very personal and important to me. And next, I want to introduce Alexis Townsend and Angelique Lopez. Alexis and Angelique are the Michigan Business Development Specialists that work directly with providers like yourself through trainings, cohorts, and one-on-one consultations. So let's start with Alexis. Would you like to share a little bit about your background with everyone?
Sure. Thank you, Jessica. Again, my name is Alexis. I have a background in early childhood as a teacher, as well as over 10 years in the nonprofit industry, working with youth and helping train staff and providers and things just like yourself with childcare and youth programming. And I've been with First Children's Finance for going on 2 years now. So thank you for having us, and hopefully we'll be able to assist you.
Thank you, Alexis. Angelique, would you mind coming off mute and sharing a little bit about your background as well?
Yeah, so I'm Angelique Lopez. I worked in childcare in centers, and then I also had a home program. I had both a family childcare program and a group childcare license. And then I worked to also have a center. And then instead of going that route while I was in the middle of that, I actually worked with Great Start to Quality as a validator for some time. And then, so now I am currently a business development specialist with First Children's Finance. So as stated, I work with one-on-one consultations and also trainings that we will share a little bit more about shortly. So it's good to be with all of you today.
Thank you, Angelique. And last but certainly not least, I'd like to introduce our Michigan Director, James Henderson. And James is going to talk over the next few slides just a little bit about who we are and what we do. So James, do you mind coming off mute and introducing yourself?
Yes, I will. Thank you, Jessica. And thank you, Alexis and Angelique as well. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm James Henderson. I'm the Michigan Director at First Children's Finance, and I have been in my role for over 6 years. We're so excited to have this opportunity to discuss First Children's Finance with you and the different levels of resources and support that we have. It is so important right now during this time to engage with you and learn about what is necessary for you to be successful and sustainable. So, Jessica, if you're controlling the slides, would you mind changing the next one, please? Some of you may be familiar with us at First Children's Finance. Many of you may not. And for those that have not been, we'd like to introduce ourselves at this time. First Children's Finance has been around since 1991. What you see on the screen, we affectionately call the theory of change. This is our internal mapping of our strategies to engage with childcare businesses at the individual level, the community level, and the systems level. You look in the middle, you see one statement: to increase the sustainability and supply of quality childcare businesses. What brought us here today, this afternoon, is the orangish color, the individual business level. We're hearing across the state and from many of you, and our partnership with ECIC as well. And we're honored to be able to continue to collaborate and strategize with you all moving forward. So this individual business sector, now more than ever, whether it was pre-pandemic or post-pandemic, the opportunity to meet you where you are, to be able to help you analyze your financial state your financial viability, your operations, your business plans, what it takes for you to make sure that you are able to effectively serve your county, communities, neighborhoods, zip codes that you serve. So that is the intersection that we're really happy to engage with you today. If you also look, there's a direct correlation between what we do on an individual business level and what it does for your community and making sure that your voices are heard and you're valued and you have an opportunity to understand what you're dealing with for your overall metrics and your data and the engagement with your families and other providers and networking. It also has far-reaching implications for going to the capital city in Lansing, making sure that your voices are heard, that as things come about in terms of advocacy and policy and systems, that you're in the know. And we really work hard to make sure that we do exactly that, to make sure that you're informed and have the tools to understand what the sector is dealing with and engaging with as well. Jessica, the next slide, please. What providers do matter? We don't have to keep reiterating that over and over again. You're on this call, this conversation, because you realize that. First and foremost, as our team in Michigan, we're so happy and proud of each and one of you. And what you're doing, if you look at the screen, has a direct impact from the individual families that you're serving, the working parents. We know, depending on what region in the state, almost 80% of parents are even making a decision, at least one of them in the household, in terms of whether or not they actually decide to go into the workforce. Some regions, some communities, some counties are even having families making conversations about whether or not they add to their families. And they just are looking at childcare shortages and shortfalls or deserts in some respects. But these are things that have a direct impact on working parents and tomorrow's workforce. We know now that for every return in terms of a dollar, some reports indicate it's $8 in return on investment. Some are as high as almost $18 to $20 on that return on investment. But what you are doing matters, and it has a direct impact in terms of the community, the neighborhoods, and the families that you serve. It is absolutely vital, not only to what you are doing as business entrepreneurs and business owners, but the impact that it has for workforce development and also regional economic growth as well. It is all tied together, and you're hearing this now more than ever. Childcare is at the epicenter of all of these different branches connecting, thriving, and moving forward. Next slide, please, Jessica. Thank you. Again, as you look at our history, our evolution actually started us first and foremost out of Minneapolis, St. Paul. And we actually had an opportunity right from the very beginning with our mission that you see here is to make sure that the supply and business sustainability of excellent childcare stays at the forefront. We have never wavered from that in our entire history. And now more than ever, we're getting outreach from individual business owners or communities or counties or across different states. So we were founded as a CDFI in 1991. In 2006, we actually became a national nonprofit, where out of our work in Minnesota, we started getting more outreach and people starting to figure out how they can engage with us across different states and areas. So in 2008, for many that may not be aware, we actually launched our regional office in Michigan as well as Iowa. And it was based on the feedback, and primarily our initial focus was Southeastern Michigan. And as we grew and evolved since 2008, we were getting more feedback from the state and partner organizations and individual business owners. Could we do work in rural areas? Could we expand across the 83 counties across the state? And we took that at heart. And some of you may have been aware of some of our activity and engagement through Caring for My Future or other partnerships or collaborations. And we continue to grow as we're having this conversation. So now we actually are proud to announce that we have a regional office in Vermont. We will be launching another one in just a matter of months in Oregon, and our impact is over 20 or more different states. So we're very proud of that accomplishment, but we've never lost sight of what it is that we need to do in Michigan, and in particular, supporting you all for your growth and success. And I won't go into a whole lot of details because I know Angelique and Alexis and Jessica will be guiding some more of the specifics. But we know that you're here today because of what we can do to support you as individual business owners with our tools and resources for success. And we accomplish this by a couple different lenses. Some of you may have actually had an opportunity to join some of our webinars. Some of you may have had an opportunity to join some of our trainings and our sessions that we have currently available through some of our cohorts or workshops. We really try to engage with our feedback with you to be able to customize the level of supports, topics, and trainings that are relevant for your needs for success. We also look at our support services. Some of you may have engaged in terms of trying to have a financial analysis, or what does it take for a startup support, or a business coaching or consultation session. We can honestly share with you, especially during COVID, a lot of you were reaching out in terms of individual support for crisis and intervention. And you were looking at your enrollment numbers or your staffing and just trying to figure out how to make sure that you were going to be able to survive the pandemic and then post-pandemic reemerge stronger, and even some of you with a plan of growth and expanding. As I mentioned before, we are also a CDFI, so we do have lending that's available. We are Sharia compliant, which means that we make sure that we address things from multiple different languages and being able to engage the business owners and those that we serve, such as yourself. And we also, through us, when it's a possibility, we offer grants, or we really make sure that you're in the best shape forward to have the opportunity to figure out what lending supports or capital are best for you, your needs, and your individual goals for success for your business to be sustainable.
Thank you so much, James. So really what we want to focus on today are some of the more important tools that we have to offer. So we offer trainings, cohorts, individual consultations, and business plan workshops. And we're going to kind of break down what each of them are and what they have to offer in the next few slides. I'm going to talk about our trainings. Our trainings are categorized in 3 different ways. So we do financial trainings, marketing trainings, and management trainings. And we also customize them based on the type of license you hold. So we have childcare center-based trainings, and then sometimes we have the same training or something a little bit more customized for home-based providers. So that's your group homes and your family providers. So first of all, I want to talk a little bit about our financial trainings that are customized for home-based providers. So this is a list of the trainings that we have currently. We're not offering them all currently, but we are rotating them on a monthly basis. So if you keep tabs on our website or on MI Registry, you'll have you'll be able to see which ones we're offering. All of these trainings you can find on MI Registry, and you can see at the end of them, it tells you how many hours, how many MI Registry hours each of them are worth. So planning for the future annual budget and cash flow would be worth 2. Planning for the future accounting and financial statements would be worth 2, and so on. So these trainings focus on things like learning basic budgeting concepts, exploring income and expense sections of a budget, discussing the purpose of budgeting and the different types of budgets, understanding the purpose of projecting cash flow, breaking down the sections of a cash flow statement, analyzing an actual childcare business case study to identify strategies to manage cash flow and determine the financial health of the business, identifying strategies to manage cash flow using First Children's Finance's business management resources, also breaking down sections of income and expense statements, a cash flow statement and balance sheets, identifying strategies of how to use financial statements to inform your business decisions. You're also going to learn basic tools to separate business and personal finances, and to learn to utilize computer and file systems to organize financial documents, develop a business budget, explore the current state of childcare and the factors that contribute to childcare business challenges, and lastly, identify strategies to increase your business acumen. So all of these trainings are specialized, but this is the bulk of the information that we kind of offer in these financial trainings that are customized for home-based providers. these are the financial trainings that we have customized for childcare centers. You're going to learn a base of the same information, but again, customized to include managing a larger business that includes staffing. In the bottom two trainings, when tuition is not enough, fundraising for your childcare center and precision pricing for your childcare center, you'll learn to identify practical strategies for establishing a tuition assistance program and explore how to establish an internal scholarship model for low-income families. You'll understand how to balance quality childcare and level of financial risk to the childcare business model, and learn about childcare subsidies available throughout the state of Michigan. Center directors know that the income generated by tuition isn't always enough to make ends meet, so participants in this last session will increase their understanding of the 6 basic principles of fundraising for childcare programs and identify initial strategies for a childcare fund and development plan. Our marketing trainings, again, they're both customized for either home-based providers or childcare centers. But in these trainings, you will learn basic marketing principles and concepts. You'll complete an environmental scan, identify features and benefits of your childcare program. You'll analyze childcare competitors, identify strategies to build an effective message, define a target market to secure future enrollment, and learn how to use marketing principles to secure community partnerships. Lastly, we have our management trainings. These ones are customized for your home-based providers. So throughout the management trainings for home-based childcare, you will gain a better understanding of the importance of strong policies for your business. You'll learn how to create your own policy manual and contract or revise what you have to increase its effectiveness. You'll learn strategies to help with enforcing your policies. You'll also explore new opportunities for quality in your individual professional development, your program offerings, and your business operations. So using the case study we call Angie's Daycare, you'll have the opportunity to walk through Angie's own evaluation of where she is at and how she can improve her outcomes with quality. Lastly, we have management trainings customized for childcare centers. So in the management centered courses, you'll learn 3 phases of employee recruitment, hiring, and retention. So it's going to focus a little bit more on staffing. You'll analyze current hiring and employee retention processes, identify strategies to recruit qualified teachers, review best practices for hiring new employees, understand the importance of a holistic employee orientation process, and develop strategies to increase staff leadership development. You'll also learn how to effectively implement policies, procedures, and systems that support stable program operations. Identify and examine how to organize and create standard policies and procedures manuals for your program. You will also begin to explore the primary components of a child care center policy and procedure manual for parents and identify gaps and opportunities for creating or updating your existing policy and procedures manual for your parents. And then very lastly, we have something called the Startup Bootcamp. This course is designed to accommodate the needs of childcare center and home-based providers who are either in the trenches of the childcare business startup process or simply in the planning or dreaming stages. So I'll just give everybody a minute to read through that. So our current offerings are developing a marketing plan for your home-based program. That is being offered Tuesday, June 18th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then we're starting writing a childcare business plan workshop. It will happen every Thursday for 3 weeks. So June 13th, 20th, and the 27th. And again, that's going to be from 6 to 8 p.m. We're going to talk a little bit more about what the childcare business plan workshop entails later on in this presentation. But I'm going to go ahead and pass this off to Angelique. And she is, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm going to actually drop the flyer in the chat so that you have that.
Sorry, I was putting them in the chat, but I realized
You got it? Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
No big
yeah.
deal. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's
I-
move on, and we're going to talk a little bit about the business leadership cohort next. Again, we offer two different types of cohorts. One is for a child care center and one is for your home-based providers. They vary a little bit in time. So the child care center owners and directors cohort is 3 hours in length for 4 sessions, while the home-based provider is 2 hours in length. So the amount of MI registry credits that you receive for both of them is going to be a little bit different. You'll get a total of 12 if you're a child care center director or owner, and you'll get a total of 8 if you're a home-based provider.
Jessica, can I pause you for 1 second? I see a hand raised.
Of course, yes.
Nicole, go ahead. Oh, if you're trying to chat, you're muted. Okay. We can move on. Maybe it was an
Okay.
accident. Yep.
Okay.
Thanks.
And if there is a question, please feel free to either drop it in the chat or the Q&A, and someone will be able to answer you. So in the business leadership cohort, this program meets 4 times multiple weeks with a focus on business topics that are important to your business. Again, you'll receive 12 MI registry training hours upon the completion of the child care center cohort and 8 upon the completion of the home-based cohort. The requirements of completion include attending all 4 sessions, completing all assignments, and attending 2 individual consultations. So you'll have the opportunity to schedule these sessions within a given time frame on your own time, and they can be virtual. And you'll have an opportunity to have a one-on-one interaction with one of our specialists where they'll do a financial analysis of your program. We'll talk a little bit more about what that entails, but you'll do a financial analysis, and then at the end, you'll have another one-on-one consultation where you'll come up together, you'll come up with some SMART goals based off of that financial consultation and some of our recommendations to try and maximize your profit without hurting the quality of your program. In the next few slides, Angelique is going to talk about what each session would look like in a child care center business leadership cohort. And then afterward, we'll go over some of the differences in the home-based. So Angelique, I'm going to pass it off to you.
Okay. So the business leadership cohort, it is important for participants to attend all 4 sessions, and you get 2 consultations along with it. But during the first session, we talk about the childcare industry from a business vantage perspective. We will cover topics including enrollment management and how it impacts operations. And we'll also examine the keys to developing an engaging message to support marketing efforts. Next slide, please. So during session 2, we work to understand how to manage the finances of a childcare operation and how it's critical to long-term success and sustainability. We cover the foundation of finances and apply new knowledge to managing scenarios by examining financial statements together. And what's really neat about these cohorts is that we really get to see when we do like breakout rooms and discussions, people make great connections with one another and learn a lot from their lived experiences. And the trainers, usually it's Alexis and we get to share a lot of like what we've learned along the way also, and share what other providers have shared in previous trainings. So next slide, please. All right, so then you get the opportunity to have individual consultation. Now this is really great because we take the time to look at your individual program. During your individual consultation that's provided by the cohort, we get to take a deep dive, and we can even look at your business operations by classroom. So we really can optimize your numbers. We will review any potential opportunities or challenges presented or related to the business. And then during session 3, participants will discuss how staffing is critical and a competitive need at this time. We will review the basics of acquiring, retaining, and developing new employees and teachers for the program. With the right staffing strategies in place, childcare leaders can focus on growth and enhancement of their program. And every training and cohort staffing has come up as a concern. And so retention is high priority. And so we do cover this in this cohort session. And the fourth and final session addresses one of the biggest barriers to success, which is not having a good plan in place. So you get all of this information and it's great, but what are you going to do with it? So participants will pull together all of their learnings and apply it toward the development of program goals and create an action plan to meet those goals. And then lastly is the second individual consultation, and it provides a follow-up with the participants, and we talk about the business analysis and the program goals set forth. It's a combination of bringing the first consultation goals and the fourth session of the goal making together to really make sure that you can jump into action, making your goals come true.
Thank you, Angelique. So just to recap, the family childcare or home-based childcare cohort is similar, but again, there's going to be less focus on center-based topics such as staffing and more focus on home-based topics such as your time space and zoning, etc. In session 3, for example, participants focus less on staffing barriers and will learn the power of business analysis by comparing their own business analysis report against First Children's Finance data to see how their business compares to other home-based childcare businesses. Participants also take part in a business roundtable discussion on wide-ranging topics such as rate structure, contracts, and policies, and having tough conversations with families. That roundtable conversation is so beneficial. It really gives providers an opportunity to kind of come together and share their experiences, much like what Angelique was talking about in the previous slide. So not only are you getting the experiences of the trainers, but also your fellow providers. And there's just so much power in that. So next we want to talk about the business planning workshop, which is another series that we offer. This one is 3 sessions instead of 4. Each session is 2 hours. It is developed for home-based and center-based providers, so it doesn't matter what type of license you have, everyone can participate in the business plan workshop. This workshop is worth a total of 6 MI registry training hours. And participants must complete all 3 courses and an approved business plan in order to be eligible to receive credit of a business plan. So basically, once you complete the 3 sections, you will have yourself a nice, robust childcare business plan that you can also use as a sustainability plan. So it will have lots of information in there on best practices for your personal business and so on. So it's a great program. And Alexis is going to talk a little bit about what each of the sessions entails. So Alexis, if you wouldn't mind coming off mute and just talking a little bit about session 1.
Alexis, do you mind if I interrupt? There's lots of questions in the chat.
Absolutely.
Folks are excited.
That's
okay.
Yet.
That's okay. So Kristen asked if there's a separate flyer for the home-based cohort. So Jessica and team, we put your flyers on our website and our sort of resource page. So I shared that link, but yes, there is a flyer for the family one.
Yep.
Justine asked, will any of these sessions cover valuation?
Eve, can you be a little bit more specific on what you're looking, what kind of evaluation?
Justine, if you have the ability to unmute and share, or maybe
or drop in the chat either.
Yeah.
Sure. I was wondering about figuring out how much your business is worth in your business plan.
So in the business leadership cohort, that is precisely what we do with that one-on-one financial analysis. So in the financial analysis, they're actually going to go through all of your numbers, They're going to let you know how much profit you're bringing in on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis. They're going to look at all possible aspects and find ways for you to amplify your profit, become more sustainable. So that's we do that more so in the business leadership cohort than we do in the writing a business plan workshop.
Okay.
Does that answer your
Okay,
question?
thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
And one more question, does the home-based model still cover hiring and retaining staff? We have many group programs who are seeking this type of support.
There isn't a ton of information in the home base. And the reason why is because this is a national cohort and not a lot of states have group homes like we do in Michigan. But we do offer trainings, like you saw, that are specific for staffing that as a group home provider, you're more than welcome to join. Group home providers, we also encourage to join the childcare center cohort as well. We have a lot of them that join them just because they're interested in potentially growing at some point, but a lot of the information is very similar and it does have that staffing piece in it. But it's definitely something we can look at, adding to this cohort because it is needed in our state.
Absolutely. And then you may have answered this with your previous answer, but I do want to read it for the good of the group. What if you are a home base but are looking to open a center? Should you do both, and how would that work?
If you are a home base and you're looking to open a center, I would highly encourage doing the childcare center business leadership cohort. And we also have the startup boot camp. That's a great opportunity for people who are looking to expand. So both of those offerings are great for somebody who's looking to expand or grow.
Okay, that's it for the chat. Thank you.
Thank you. Alexis, are you good?
Yeah, I'm good whenever we're ready.
We're ready.
All right. So sorry about that.
That's
All
okay.
right. So when we get into our childcare business planning session, so in our first session, we usually go over what's called an environmental scan, right? So this is just us looking at who your competitors are in your neighborhood, helping you figure out where it is that you want to open, and then also getting to the core of what your mission is, right? So what is your mission? What are your values? Who is your target audience when you are looking to start a child care program? So these are just the first few things that we go over, and it's based in sections. So after our first session, we'll give you your homework and we'll say work on sections A through F, right? And then when we come back, and we can move on to session 2, Jessica. So that way, when we segue into session 2, you already have a foundation and thoughts around that, right? So in session 2, we just build, like I said, again, on session 1, and we go over what you want your basic concepts and principles to be in your childcare business. And then we also go over any questions that you have, about the sections that we did before, and moving into how your operations and your manuals and your step-by-steps of how to handle certain certain plan aspects of your center. We work on that in session 2 as we fold that into session 1. And then we move to session 3. So again, this is another build up on session 1 and session 2. So we work with basic concepts. We'll see where you are with your groundwork and the business plan, if you have any questions. And then we go into the financial management piece of how you can keep your books, some tips with accounting, some tips with just how to make sure that quarterly, yearly, or monthly that you're staying on track with your goals. So like Jessica said earlier, this is just 3 sessions, but in order to receive credit with my registry, you have to attend all 3 sessions. And then hopefully at the end, we have a complete business plan for you, or at least the main first steps in that plan. And that's it. So I'll turn it back over to Jessica. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexis. So the last thing that I want to talk about are the individual consultations that we offer. This is something that we're not doing a ton of at the moment. Depending on the types of contracts that we're able to find, we're able to offer quite a large rainbow of individual consultations. While we're not doing these currently for free, we're offering the financial analysis within the business leadership cohort. So that financial analysis is actually one of our individual consultations. Where again, we'll look at your program with a fine-tooth comb to see exactly how much your program brings in on a weekly, a monthly, and a yearly basis. If you're a center, we're going to look at how much it's bringing in each classroom individually. We can pinpoint your break-even point and make recommendations that will drive your profit up without sacrificing the quality of your program. So that is one consultation that we are offering right now through the business leadership cohort. And the beauty of it is once you take one of our trainings, one of our cohorts, one of our, if you do a workshop with us, you'll have access to our provider or to our specialists who are always happy to answer questions. So if you go through the business leadership cohort, you get a wonderful SMART goals plan, and something happens where there's a change or you run into a barrier that is unforeseen, you're always welcome to shoot us an email, a text, a phone call, and we're happy to do TA with you free of charge. So that's something that we can always offer. Hopefully down the road, we'll be able to offer more of these consultations for free. I just wanted to kind of show you what they look like. Again, while we're not under any contracts at the moment to offer them for free, we can do what we call a fee for service if you are in fact interested in working with us in that capacity. But these are just an intro to some of the consultations that we offer, and they can grow and lead into other things. So we offer things for new childcare businesses, current childcare businesses, and businesses that are looking to expand. So this is just kind of a list of the things that we can offer. And these consultations can be anywhere from a week long to 4 weeks, but it is one-on-one. We work with you. We go through every last piece of information that's necessary to get you to a better spot. So our ultimate goal is to maintain and promote your sustainability without affecting the quality of your program. If anything, to bring the quality of your program up. That is all that we have. I know it was a lot of information thrown at you. Again, you can always go to MI Registry to see what we're offering, but Angelique did drop in the chat our flyer of all of our current offerings. We're going to be putting some more offerings up in the next 3 months, so you'll be able to see what's coming. But I wanted to open this time up to all of you if you had any questions about any of the things that we went over. I'm also going to put in the chat my email address. And Angelique and Alexis, if you'd like to do the same, you're more than welcome to, after this, reach out to us if you have any questions that you think of later on. But we'll go ahead and open up for questions at this time.
So I might offer a question. So if all 40 folks on this call are super excited and they want to join the cohort that starts tomorrow, how many participants do you have in any one cohort? Like how many?
So in the business, that's a great question, Christy. Thank you.
Sure.
In the business planning workshop, it is unlimited. So we can have as many providers that would like to join, all 40 of you at once. Same thing for any of our trainings. They are unlimited. The only offering that we have that has limitations are our business leadership cohort. So that's the one that has the 4 sessions and the one-on-one consultation. We try to limit that at between 15 to 20. We can squeeze 25 in sometimes if there's some people that really want to get in. And the reason why we limit that is because we want to be able to give you the time that you deserve in those one-on-ones. So if we had 40 to 50 people, it would be really, really difficult to do one-on-one consultations with everyone and give them the time that they deserve. So everything is unlimited availability except for that cohort. That's the only one that we have the cutoff. But the one that's starting is unlimited. So that's the business planning workshop. As many of you that are interested in joining are welcome to join. So somebody asked, where do we sign up for the cohorts? You can go to MI Registry and just search First Children's Finance, but you can also go to our website. Anjali, can you drop the website link to where the trainings are located in there for me? And then that way people can just grab it. And you can always check there what's being offered, but you can also go to MI Registry to see all of the offerings firsthand. Thank you, Anjali. Any other questions? Okay, do the 5-second rule here. Oh, we got one in the chat. How often is the training flyer updated? It's updated. So we're about to update it for the next 3 months. We try to do it within 3 to 4 months. So there are some older trainings on there, but it does have the current ones too. And then we'll do the next 3 months coming up. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks, it'll be updated. And again, if nobody has any other questions, I also created a slide with our info. So if you want to take a screenshot, if that's easier for you, you're welcome to do so. And you're welcome to reach out to any one of us with questions afterward if they come up later. Or if you just have, TA questions, we're happy to help. But this is all of our email addresses. I'll leave that up for a second to give people time. And that's it. We like to end all of our presentations with a quote. This is one from Emma Goldman. No one has yet realized the wealth of sympathy, the kindness and generosity hidden in the soul of a child. The effort of every true education should be to unlock that treasure. It does look like we just have a thank you. So again, thank you guys so much for letting us be a part of this. And please, please, please reach out to us if you do have any questions or would like, support or help getting hooked up with some of our services.
Thank you so much, Jessica, Alexis, Angelique, and James. We appreciate you spending the time. I think this was very eye-opening for folks. I think we sort of knew there was some stuff happening out there, but having it really tangible was helpful. And now we have your flyers and your contact information. So I'm sure you'll have some registrations shortly.
That's great.
So
And
thank
Christy,
you so
we'll send you our updated flyer. So when
Perfect.
we do the next 3 months, that you can share with your providers.
Perfect. We would appreciate that. Well, we do have a little bit more GSQ related information. If you'd like to stay, you're welcome to. If not, thank you again and have a wonderful afternoon. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. A pleasure.
Sure. Okay, I want to just share a couple more things before we head out for the afternoon and give you some updates here. So I'm gonna share my screen. Can you all see my PowerPoint? I can't see faces.
Christy, it's on your Excel file.
Oh, thanks. You don't need to see who is in Head Start currently. That is not helpful to this group. Okay, let's try again. No?
It's correct now.
Okay, so you heard First Children's Finance talk about marketing, and I just want to continue to encourage everyone to utilize Great Start to Quality in that way. It is free. I'm going to put a link in the chat. This is where you can log in to your public profile. And the reason that I am impressing this upon you is because ECIC, MyLeap, and others are really sort of pushing for this to be the one place where folks come to look for childcare, look for Head Start programs, early Head Start, GSRP, with the pre-K for all push. We're all sort of pushing in this direction. And so this is the best place for you to engage with families and make sure that your information is current. So I would encourage you to log in, update your information. If you need help with that process, certainly reach out to your resource center. They're happy to walk you through. What I would say is we're making updates all the time to better help families. And so if you have spent any time in this system, you will remember that we had ages sort of bucketed in a weird way. So it was infants birth to 1, toddler 1 to 3, preschool 3 to 5, which isn't always helpful for families, right? Maybe they don't want a pre-K program. They just have a 3.5-year-old and need a preschool program. And so we've broken out the ages, 1 to help families, and 2 for you to provide accurate data. Your preschool program may be a different cost, and you may have different openings. So would just encourage you to take a look and update those numbers in your profile so families can see what is actually true. Shifting to the My Registry system, so where you all participate in Great Start to Quality. I just wanted to share with you that we've made some updates in the system to help you walk through the process. And so we have tons and tons of YouTube videos to help you through how to complete the self-reflection, how to manage your quality improvement plan. And so there are now links inside of the system where these fancy little arrows are pointing, and you can click on that and watch the video right while you're inside the system. So we're hoping that that sort of helps you be more efficient as you work through the process. So we've heard that the videos have been helpful and wanted to get you to them in a little more rapid way. The next thing I want to share with you, and I will pause for questions at the end, so just want to get through the things, is we're updating the certificate in the system. And so if you have a current quality level and you start a new case to go back through the process because it's expiring or you want to increase your level, you'll see this valid through NA piece here, which doesn't mean you're expired. But what it does mean is that your certificate will look a little bit different. And so instead of an expiration date, it will say quality level in progress. Eventually we'll get it so that it sort of freezes your current quality level, but this is what will be true if you're working on a new quality level. So if you've pushed the button to apply, this is what you'll see. So I just wanted to make sure folks knew that that's what that would look like for a little while. So if you have questions about that, let me know. I'll stop there. It was a ton of information today. Anything that I can answer for you about the updates that I shared or anything else related to Great Start to Quality?
I do have a question. This is Marcy.
Please.
So I think I'm struggling a bit with how to work out the professional development piece. Making sure that so we do PD by the calendar year for licensing, but that's not always the case for the Great Start to Quality PD piece because it's going to depend on when you submit your SAS, right? So I guess I'm
Yourself a
struggling
question,
a
yeah.
little bit with how to make sure those PD indicators are getting done within the last 12 months of them needing to be done. Any insight or advice on that?
Yeah, I'm going to go pull a link for you to help you with that. And then I don't know if one of our validators or a validation manager want to answer that as well, because I get that question a lot.
Hey, Marcy, this is Melissa. I'm the validation manager.
Hey.
I think one of the helpful things to know is it is 12 months back, but it's the 12 months back from when you submit the self-reflection for validation. So when you're working on your initial self-reflection, you still are able to see a report in there, And that will give you where, it will update until you submit that self-reflection for the second time or when you submit for validation. So that will give you a little bit of a tracking mechanism to see where you're at right before you are submitting that.
Okay. Yeah, we've
And
gone
then-
back and
oh.
forth with, like, do we change our PD window to match the Great Start to Quality? But then you run into the issue of not getting your licensing hours in during the calendar year, and it's just been a bit of a struggle, like I said.
Yeah, and I put a link to the PD guide, which might help you with like particular admin training and those kinds of things, if that's something that you're struggling with. I think what's important to know is that this is a really great example of why we changed the model, right? It felt very difficult or punitive when you were submitting the self-reflection or self-assessment as it was at the time, and somebody missed a training, right? And the timing was just off. And so know that certainly we want everybody to, meet these high quality standards and really work hard to achieve those things, but nothing bad is going to happen if you don't get there, right? And so you will be able to continue with the process, have a validation and an on-site observation.
Mhm.
And that is one of the reasons why we changed the way the system works, because we don't want you to get bogged down with that kind of thing when we know you're working hard to do what's right. So
Okay, okay, so
hopefully
don't
that
get
helps.
too caught up in that piece.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Great question. Absolutely. Any others in our last 2 minutes? Thank you all so much for spending some time with us today. Your time is valuable. This is being recorded, so we will certainly share this out with all of you, as well as post it on our website so that you can come back and take a look. I do want to thank First Children's Finance again for coming and sharing all the wonderful opportunities. The flyers are on our website under our resources page, so you can go check those out, and we will update them as they send them to us in the future. Have a wonderful afternoon. We appreciate you. Take care.